I've been playing the Ping G425 MAX driver for over the last year, but recently I decided to change to the Ping G430 MAX. Why? Let's find out. It is time for bombs. Let's get the technical differences out of the way before we jump on the range and absolutely bomb these bad boys. And there's really only two differences between these two drivers. Number one, go down there and hit subscribe. I tricked you there, but go down there, hit the subscribe button. You get to watch all my stuff for free. All I ask, you go hit one button, and if you regret it, you can unclick it later, but you won't. All right, difference number one, and that is the face of these drivers. Now, they actually have the exact same material, but the 430 has a slightly thinner face, and it also has a different bulge and roll, meaning the way that the face curves to promote what Ping is calling spin-sistency, I think. Not a word until they said it was. Basically meaning that the 430 should spin a little bit more consistently on thin strikes, toe strikes, heel strikes, high in the head strikes, which I am looking forward to because of some of you, if you've been a follower of this channel, you've seen me hit some balls that kind of knuckle and nosedive out of the air with the 425. And the face on the 430 is actually a little bit smaller from top to bottom, meaning that you have less face to hit. I mean, I'm actually not that big of a fan of that change, but it isn't that major, so I wouldn't look too much into that. The second reason, and this is the biggest reason for me, and that is sound engineering. Acoustics. The 425 MAX always had a bit of a trash can sound, but I was always willing to overlook that because I like the performance of it. The 430 MAX sounds completely different. Those are really the only two differences between these two drivers. But let's see if the performance is any different. So let's go to the range and go hit some bombs, brother. It is time for some bombs. Well, actually, not quite yet. We gotta make the normal swings first, and then we will start bombing it, I promise. First up is gonna be the 425 MAX. We're gonna hit 5 balls with each. Let's stop yapping. Let's start bombing. Well, not yet bombing. Smooth swings first. Now, I'm not very good at actually hitting the ball dead straight. I'd like to hit a little bit of a fade, but I'm gonna try to hit them more straight for this test, and we'll see how that goes. Man, that looks like it's teed up way too high. Perfect. And that is a horrific start. Thin heel, but I think we got away with it. I hit that one really thin, but that's why I love these drivers. You can hit them pretty off center, and I still got a pretty awesome result of it. I said it was horrific because it was a horrific strike, but I got a pretty solid result out of that. And that's why I love the Ping MAX series drivers, because it makes me look a lot better than I am. Let's see if we can hit one a little bit more solid. That's a little bit solid, but also kind of high in the face now, which is why it's not spinning and why it is going an absolute mile. Another reason why I love the MAX drivers, you hit it high in the face and you get low spin bombs. Really not two very good indicative normal swings to start, but it is what it is. Okay, a little better there. Still a skosh in the bottom, but a pretty nice strike. And a pretty good ball there. That was number 3. This will be number 4, I think. If you add 1, that's what it equals. Well, another ball out of the heel and a little bit thin. But the MAX just doesn't care. It just lands right on the line. I mean, modern technology is such a stinking gift. And as you can tell, I don't know if you noticed the sound. The sound on this 425 is, I mean, it's loud. It's loud. That was better. Slightly toe, but watch it go. Turned a couple of those over and got a lot more distance out of them because they spun a lot less. Since a few of those strikes weren't that awesome on those 5, I'm gonna hit a few more with the 425 just to give us some options when we're looking at the numbers later. Well, that was a push fade. This isn't getting any better. There we go. That is a good representation. That is a nicely clean struck ball. Time for the 430, and the settings that I have these drivers on is the big minus setting, which takes it down 1.5 degrees, so it's a 9 degree, turned down to 7.5. And Ping, if you're watching this, please make one with less loft. I'd love a 8 degree driver or even a 7 degree driver. That way I could turn it down to 6 so that the people watching at home could even see bigger bombs. Would you do that for me? Lower lofted. 9, we need lower. Lower. I actually tee the 430 up probably a little bit smaller than the 425 because the face is not as high. Looks down by the ball, it's a little bit different because of these lines and these dots kind of on the edges. But other than that, very similar to the 425. Right off the bat, there is such a different sound to this driver. Like such a different sound. Hit that one pretty nice, hit that one out of the center. Spun a little bit more than the 425. I can't emphasize enough how much better this thing sounds and ends up feeling better because of just the acoustic tuning that they did to it. Just sounds so much better than the 425. A little blocky, but in play probably. Not the worst swing in the world. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, faded a little bit. But I struck that one very nice. 330 in the air fade, we will take that. Ooh, oh, we're gonna delete that one. Since I hit a few of the 425s higher in the head and got low spin, I'm gonna try to do that now with the 430. So I teed it up a little bit higher now and see if I can intentionally hit it high in the face. And we'll kind of see what happens with this. Just don't sky it. It's brand new and it costs way too much. That was a little higher in the face. Oh my goodness, that is a pretty ball. That might go in the hole. Go! Go, big bounce. Big bounce. I was right on line. Right on line. So that was a little higher in the face, but still spun at 2,200 opposed to like 1,300 we were getting out of the 425. I mean, the feel is just so much better. Like I feel like I hit that higher in the face, but it feels so much better than the 425. I may sky it here, but I'm gonna try to hit this really high in the face. Like really high in the face. See what happens. Yeah, it just goes dead straight. I mean, I feel like I hit that pretty high in the face, but it doesn't, wow, it doesn't slow down for nothing. That is nuts. The ball is going so far. All right, before we get into the breakdown of the numbers, let's see which one just goes the furthest, because why not? 2 balls each, 430 up first. Oh, that one might have spun up a little too much. That is going so high. Oh my goodness. Well, that didn't really go any further. I feel like it's gotta be a little faster. Oh yeah, 191, that's a little faster. See, Ping, this is why I want a 7 degree driver. It's going too high. Let's try to lower the flight a little bit and see how much we can get out of this. Lower it down just a little bit, you know, reduce the loft. Loft was reduced, but the face was open. I don't think loft was reduced at all. Okay, so my bombs with the 430 ended up going even shorter, which I'm not surprised because the harder I swing, the more I spin it. The longest total we were able to get there was 357, and I think that actually the 425 will be a little bit longer because it spins a little bit less higher in the head. Let's see. Oh, I turned it over. That's kind of spinning too much. Just spinning too much. Go, go, go. What was it, 357? Okay, 425 wins right there. Going way slower, but went further. And that's just how spin rates work for you. Should we go even faster? Sure, why not? What do we got to lose at this point? Oh, I think it's spinning too much. No, maybe not. Go, keep going. 340 in the air. 360 total, not bad for a high fade. That was kind of what I was suspecting. I knew that the 430 spun a little bit more than this 425, but let's go take a look at the numbers and really see where they separate between these two drivers. Here are the numbers for the 425 and the 430, the 425 being in the yellow up here. But you'll see we have some spin variation here. Our standard deviation of 558, and we'll go down to the 430 to 232. I will be honest, I hit the 425 worse than I hit the 430. I can tell you from experience that the 425 will knuckle if you hit it high in the face, and the 430 just doesn't seem to really do that, which is a huge bonus for me. The launch angle of the 430 is a little bit higher here, but I did hit a few more thin with the 425. And you'll see the ball speed average is higher with the 430. I think that was just due to me swinging a little bit faster, and we can actually check the club data to see. Oh, that's actually not the case. I swung almost identically as fast with the 425 as I did with the 430. You'll notice these last two are disselected. These are the two long bomb swings. So what are the big takeaways here? And I think the big takeaways are that the 430 spins a little bit more consistently than the 425. Now, maybe you want that little low spin ball high in the head. For you, you might actually like the 425, and that goes back to the whole thing is that the 425 and the 430 are so stinking similar besides really the spin and the sound. It's way more pleasant. It has a much nicer feel when you actually hit it. But yeah, those are really the two big differences between the 425 and the 430. The spin and the sound. Guys, the Ping G430 versus the G425 MAX, both amazing drivers, but I do feel like the G430 is a decent upgrade over the G425. Both awesome drivers. I encourage you to go out and try it before you buy it, or just hit the buy it now button, because what's the worst thing that can happen, you know? Until I see you guys in the next video, you know what you gotta do. Go play some golf, brother.